Today we have Dr. Peter Martone here answering your questions. And if you have a question that you want answered, go to questions@chantelrayway.com. All right, for our first question.
Let's just say somebody is fasting. Do you feel like intermittent fasting helps people with their sleep, and why or why not?
Food plays a huge role in food timing. Plays a huge role in sleep. If the goal is to get better sleep, the timing of your food and what you eat is important. If you're fasting, your blood sugar levels drop, your body goes into kind of like a survival mode, and it interrupts your sleep patterns. Anything that you do differently will interrupt your sleep patterns. As you go into another night, the body adapts a little bit more. When you're looking at that, more often than not, people are eating the wrong foods before they go to bed. They're eating too late before they go to bed. They're elevated, their body core temperatures are too high because you're metabolizing food and you're not able to drop into a nice cool temperature so your body is able to get that deep sleep. Intermittent fasting, especially if you're good with your timing, helps regulate all those patterns.
I want to talk about some of like the basics. If you want to get great sleep, let's talk about your 5 top tips, starting with the best to kind of the not as most important.
The biggest thing with all of it, right, to encompass the entire body, the best thing that you can do is that your body likes regularity. It likes to do the same thing over and over and over again. And as adults, we've kind of got away from this bedtime. One of the most critical things that I teach my patients is go to bed and wake up at the same time every single night. And then the second tip on top of that is that every hour of sleep before midnight is worth 2 hours of sleep after midnight. So now we're talking, I go to bed at midnight every night, 1 o'clock, I'm good, but I sleep till 9. That's not the same 9 hours of sleep or 8 hours of sleep as going to bed at 10 o'clock or going to bed at 9 o'clock and waking up at 6 o'clock. So it's so important to get to bed early, especially in the wintertime. And then sleep tip number 3, really trying to get out of your own head. You can't think yourself to sleep. You have to remember yourself to sleep. So you create a day where you go for a walk, you smell the roses, you walk around the pond, you think about the birds in the sky. You just become aware of your environment in a nice, peaceful setting. Then you go to bed. Then the next night, because you always have to sleep, you have to remember what happened like a day or 2 ago. You can't remember what happened that day from what I find. So if you then go to sleep and you remember everything about that walk where you're diving in, you're remembering the smells, you're remembering the birds, you're remembering how the water flowed, and you're looking at how the sun glistened on the water, whatever it is, you'll fall asleep. If you're remembering your to-do list of what you have to do tomorrow, you'll never fall asleep. See, because your sleep centers are in the back of your brain, your think centers are in the front of your brain. And the trick to fall asleep is to get the blood to go back here where your memories are.
You were on the podcast and you said the best position for you to sleep is on your back. You gave some tips on how to sleep on your back, and within about 4 days of me doing those, can you talk about that first, of what you can do to stay sleeping on your back?
We developed some new concepts, the sleep triune. In order to get way better sleep, you have to start out what we call then the corrective sleeping position. Well, the corrective sleeping position is in a specific position that you put yourself in, and we'll show that. We will show you that. The sleep triune is at play in the reason why people can't sleep, because there are 3 things battling the entire night. It's your conscious brain, your subconscious brain, and the body. The conscious brain, it's the one that screws everything up. It has all the excuses. I can't, I won't. The conscious brain just needs to let go. The subconscious brain, this is really where the money meets the road is. The subconscious brain wants safety in order to fall asleep, and the body wants to be in alignment. So you need to create safety for the subconscious brain and then get the conscious brain out of the way. And you do that by putting pillows on your chest. You can put that creates that comfort armadillo You can put a pillow over your head. And if you're a side sleeper, you can lie on your back and then put a pillow against the side of your face. And that creates almost a feeling of lying on your side when you're not really lying on your side, you're lying on your back. So that is how you're able to fall asleep in an aligned position, put the subconscious brain, create a safe environment, and then the goal is going to be get the conscious brain out of its own way.
I think you also have to have some motivation. Why do I want to sleep on my back? And those two, the lines on my face, going to the chiropractor, where I'm like, okay, I've got to figure this out.
If the pain of change is less than the perceived benefit, nobody's going to make a change. If the why is big enough, the what doesn't matter. And most people don't believe that changing their sleeping position can have a significant impact, not just on their reality today. You might be okay today with a little hip and a little neck pain and a crick every once in a while, but you extrapolate that 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years, you are causing so much degeneration and damage to the cervical spine, which is directly affecting your health and well-being. Wrinkles is a huge thing, which is why people will sleep on their back. But the reason why they really focus on it is because they don't understand the impact that side sleeping has on their health and well-being. If you have digestion issues, hormonal imbalances, immune system dysfunction, side sleeping is complicating all of that because it's putting pressure on a specific nerve called the vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve suppresses all three of those systems.
I don't know about you guys, but I am stressed. And if you're feeling overwhelmed this holiday season, then I get it. With all the family get-togethers, it is just a relentless source of stress. But anyway, there is something that I've got called Stress Guardian, and it's actually made by Bioptimizers, the people who make the magnesium breakthrough, which I love, love, love. But anyway, they are literally made this new product. It has 14 adaptogenic herbs, and it just regulates your stress. I just actually took some right this second, and it's awesome. If you go to stressguardian.com/wasteaway, use coupon code ChantelRay10. It's stressguardian.com/wasteaway. Go there now.
Let's give people some surprising sleep hacks that people may have never heard before.
Every time I review this with people, regardless if I've told them 100 times, one of my best sleep hacks, it's the way to get the conscious brain shut down. Picture it like a handoff. So the quarterback needs to hand off the ball to the subconscious brain. And in order to do that, you need to focus on your memories. You can't focus on thinking. What I tell people is you can never think yourself to sleep. You have to remember yourself to sleep. And what I mean by that is you can't think about something that happened today or a to-do list that you need to do tomorrow, or you can't consciously think about rationalizing relationships. You need to remember an old memory in the past. For instance, walking a golf course, one swing, another swing, another swing. You don't have to think about every one of your putts and stuff like that, but the more you can remember hole 1, hole 2, shot 3, shot 4, and remember yourself around that golf course, let's say this is just a memory, then once you put yourself to sleep on that memory once, remember that every night you go to bed, and you'll go to bed on that memory quicker and quicker and quicker. And when you're focusing on that memory, your body is going to tie in putting yourself to sleep.
I go to sleep at 10 p.m. and I'm waking up at 3 p.m. almost every single night. I have to go to the bathroom, and then once I do, I can't ever get back to sleep. What can I do to help this?
The best way to get back to sleep, enter the memory that you put yourself to sleep. Use a consistent memory that you go to sleep with, and always use that memory to put yourself to sleep. Let's say you woke up in the morning and you need to get yourself to sleep, dive back into that memory. In that rhythmic memory, the body will connect dreaming to. So you can go from your memory to the dream, and you'll fall asleep.
One of the other things that you taught me that I've done is the separating your sheets.
In order to get good deep sleep, you need to have your body core temperature drop 1 to 2 degrees within the first third of your sleep cycle. So your body wants to cool. Now, this is where I believe a lot of sleep experts stops there, because they think you need to just cool the body the whole entire night, which is not true. And if the body needs to cool, it warms itself up later on. So if you wake up and you're too cold, you're going to stimulate a sympathetic response where the body is going to shiver and you won't be able to go back to sleep. The body needs to cool to a specific point in time.
Is there anything else you do yourself personally for your room? The temperature of the room, all of that, any other details you can share?
What I think is critical is being able to sleep on a platform that elevates.
So your head is higher than your feet.
Yes. So that would be an elevated about 5 inches up. You can also buy sleep wedges if you don't invest in the bed. So they make these sleep wedges that are like 6 or 7 inch wedges. Those work okay also.
What temperature did you say your room is?
My room's at 68 degrees. I have the sleep number bed. Then I have a latex topper. Then I have a cooling pad underneath, a cooling or heating pad. I keep my cooling pad at, let's say, 68 degrees. That changes temperature, in the middle of the night. So I wake up warmer than I go to sleep.
Did you guys know that 97% of Americans are deficient in at least one mineral? It's true. You need more than a dozen minerals for your body to function at its best. But with the standard American diet, it's almost impossible. So here's where Beam Minerals comes in. Guess what? All you have to do, take one little shot of this one little shot of this one, and guess what? It looks like this, but it tastes like water. Take one shot, and boom, in 30 seconds a day, you're getting an entire thing of minerals instead of an entire cabinet of supplement bottles. So with Beam Minerals, we make mineral balance simple. Peter always says that the sleep that you get from, before midnight counts as double. Why is that so important for someone to train themselves, get off early, and to try to get to sleep as early as possible?
A lot of times people hear it, if you're studying, you're in college, you're so tired. Then right around a certain period of time, usually it's around 11:30 to midnight, you get a second wind and you start to get energy. And then it's really difficult to go to sleep around that second wind because your brain's racing. That is a natural energy spike. It's an adrenal spike. You want to be in deep sleep during that second wind, during that natural time. And I put most people at that energy spike around midnight. Every hour of sleep before midnight is worth 2 hours of sleep after midnight, because you're in deep restorative sleep at a body energetically high state. So you're getting more healing done at a cellular level. That's why that's important. People are late and they're shift workers. As long as they're keeping things consistent, their energy spike will shift. But if they're going to bed, like, let's say 11, or 12, and then, they try to make this up, then they go to bed at 9 o'clock one night, 9 o'clock another night, 7 o'clock, then 12. That disruption in the pattern, the body wants consistency.
And what is your suggestion of what is the last time? I'm wondering if I should actually start eating at 5 o'clock instead, and that gives me more time to be able to digest my food.
The byproduct of metabolism is heat. When you eat food, the digestive process causes heat. One of the issues with sleep and getting a good night's sleep is something that's called deep sleep. And you want your body to get into a deep, restful sleep. It usually happens within the first third of your sleep. So let's say you sleep for 9 hours. In the first 3 hours, you really get most of your deep sleep. The way that your body gets into deep sleep is it needs to drop your core temperature by 2 degrees. If you have food in your digestive tract, digesting a lot of food while you're going to bed, that's going to create heat. And then your body isn't going to be able to drop down into deep sleep. So you're not getting good deep sleep when you eat or when you drink, meaning drinking alcohol, because then your body detoxes from the alcoholic beverages. At what you can do, I always, and I'm a big intermittent faster, I don't eat breakfast And then I typically don't eat until noon. My noontime meal is typically my largest meal of the day. So for noon, I'll have a big salad is usually what I'll do. And then during dinner, I usually eat my dinner right around 6:30. And it's just a small portion of food.
I've added an evening walk every single night, and it's helped me lose an extra 10 pounds in a 2-month period. The bad news is I'm not sleeping as well.
My heart rate gets very, very, very high, and it will stay elevated for 2 to 3 hours afterwards, and I won't get my heart rate to come down, and it's going to destroy my sleep patterns. A walk, I don't believe, is enough exercise to elevate the core temperature, to keep the metabolism high. Your heart rate needs to get up to a max heart rate to be able to stay high. What I would look at is how intense are you walking, what level is your output, and then how much are you eating when you come home. The two things that need to happen in order to get good sleep, actually 3 things. Core temperature needs to drop, your heart rate needs to drop, and your respiratory rate needs to drop.
I need help with night sweats. My hormones are going crazy during pregnancy.
The issue is again, it's how much food are you eating late that will cause you to sweat, have night sweats. Another thing is the way that you're using your covers in your room temperature. So your body really doesn't care about your hands and your feet. What I teach people to do, especially if I don't know what climate you're in or what temperature your room is in, just use your covers from your neck down to your waist, and then have your hands, your legs or your arms and your feet exposed. And then your body will temperature regulate out your hands and your feet, and then you won't sweat as much.
Let's talk about caffeine too late in the day. What is kind of your cutoff that you say, hey, no, we're not having caffeine past this time, or how many hours before you would say before bed?
The half-life of caffeine is 5 hours in most people. Let's say you have 100 milligrams of caffeine at noon. 5 hours later, you still have 50 milligrams of caffeine inside of you. I tell people before noon, don't have any caffeine after noon. And don't have any caffeine within an hour of when you wake up either, because you want your adrenal glands to turn on their own, and you don't want to stress your adrenal glands with a stimulant.
Guys, I just want to interrupt for just a second, and I want you to hear Paul Saladino talk about why liver is so important. And if you don't like liver, we have another option for you.
Your ancestors were eating liver. And the reason that this sort of wisdom has been passed down is because liver is very nutritious. It's basically nature's multivitamin. If you look at the nutrients in meat, they're great. You've got zinc, you got B6, you got B12, you got some K2. But if you look at liver, it really complements what's in muscle meat. And there are many unique nutrients found in organs, specifically liver as a powerhouse of these, that are difficult to obtain outside of liver. Like meat and organs are like peanut butter and jelly. They just go together. They're supposed to be eaten together. The easiest way to eat liver is just to do it raw. If you don't want to eat liver raw, you can cook it. But the reason that I like to do it raw is because there are unique nutrients in liver that are probably somewhat degraded when you cook the liver.
This really is like the most nutrient-rich supplements that you can find, and they are amazing. I have tried them. I absolutely love them. So just go to heartandsoil.co. Use coupon code ChantelRay10 and save you some money there.
You told us we're going to have 5 surprising pillars of sleep. So give us those 5 of what those are.
So the first one, the one pillar or the leg of that triangle or that stool that I believe people miss is the destruction of the spine that is occurring at night because of our poor sleeping position. Due to the modern day lifestyle of us being, texting all day long, and we're supposed to have these curves in our neck. Because of the modern day lifestyle and our poor sleeping positions, we're losing the curve. And that's causing an adaptive twist in the spine, which then in return affects the function of our nervous system. So you focus on the first hour of your sleep, your body will do the rest. Just try to put yourself in this position for 1 hour a night with the pillow under your neck. I am using a neck nest right here, and my neck is arched back. I'm looking straight at the ceiling, and my arms are down. This is restoring the cervical curve in my neck. Number 2 is temperature, right? Your temperature regulation get the room down to 68 degrees, 65 degrees. The way that you use your covers, your arms and your hands out of the covers is really important. And number 3 is bedtime. Every hour of sleep before midnight is worth 2 hours of sleep after midnight. You're getting to sleep at 9 o'clock, 9:30, let's say, right? And then you're really probably getting really good sleep right about at 10. And then you're in deep sleep at 10:30, 11, with a closer to sundown, I guess you can say, you go to sleep. You go to sleep at the same time and you wake up at the same time. And then our body goes through these consistent sleep cycles, and your body likes consistency. That's a secret sauce right there. Is
What's number 4?
we're talking about creating a sleep memory. You can't think yourself to sleep. You can't think about what you have to do today. You can't think about what you did today or what you got to do tomorrow because you're consciously rationalizing thought. You have to remember yourself to sleep because you want the energy to go to the back portion of the brain where the sleep centers are, not the front portion of the brain where your think centers are. You want to try to access memories. These memories need to be good memories, happy memories. And when you think about a memory once and it puts you to sleep, think about the same memory and you'll be able to get to sleep because it's forcing the energy back towards the sleep centers.
What's number 5?
For people to understand quality of sleep versus quantity of sleep. It is so important to wake up well-rested and refreshed to get good quality sleep. Now, the specific things that kill your quality of sleep are things like elevated heart rate and elevated temperature. A few biohacks that we have, first off, is decreasing your food late at night. You want to make sure that you don't have a lot of toxic chemicals within your environment, alcohol or any drugs or things like that, because just as digestion creates heat, so doesn't detoxification create heat. Elevated heart rate, whether it's from exercise, whether it's from stress, an elevated heart rate will destroy your quality of sleep and will keep you out of deep sleep. You'll be able to fall asleep, but you won't get good quality of sleep. And the number one thing that people use across the globe is caffeine. I think caffeine is good. I think people can use it as a stimulant. I think people can use it for ADD. I think you can use it for metabolism. You have to understand that you shouldn't have any more than 25 milligrams of caffeine in your system while you go to bed.